All right, you're welcome back. Still on NEWSPUNCH, coming to you live from Ben Television. My name is Tunde Labiasi. I have my guests in the studio, Ashburn Older and Norman Wright. We're taking a look at the Windrush issue that happened a couple of months ago. And on the bigger picture, we're looking at the Commonwealth citizens in the United Kingdom. In whose interest is this Commonwealth? You're welcome back to the program. Before we went on that break, I was talking about diaspora now holding the High Commission responsible for their actions, because first and foremost, their responsibility in the United Kingdom is to protect their citizens. Earlier on, you spoke about diaspora having double passport, and probably, I don't believe that's going to happen. The time will probably come, and the government will ask you, where is your allegiance, your country or United Kingdom? But first, they are citizens of the other country, other Caribbean, Nigerian, Ghanaian. How should we hold these guys responsible for their actions?
I think we should hold them responsible by telling them and letting them know that we are not happy with their performance, by writing, lobbying, using what we're trying to form as a focus group for disadvantaged people of the Windrush generation and their successors. And we will not stop until something is done, restitution, compensation, or the law, or the law changed, so that this does not happen again. I think it's despicable.
Ashburn,
I think
let's look at when one or two people from the Caribbean were probably deported. They had high commissioners in the UK who signed this off. When you heard this, how did you feel?
It's appalling. I feel disgusted.
Would you blame the British government only?
I'm surprised, especially with the High Commissioner of the Caribbeans. It's disgraceful behavior to accept that. They should have challenged that from the outset and said, no, we're not going to accept this. And they need to investigate that first before they decide to accept that. So I blame them for it. The blame only lies with the British. It lies with island Caribbeans as well, because they are responsible. And they knew that these people came at the early days of the Windrush. They're aware of it. And yet they did nothing. I mean, if the Commonwealth, for example, when we had the conference, what resonated from, in fact, what was the point of the Commonwealth if they didn't bring up that subject?
That's
so
the
what
question.
resonated?
What is even the point of the Commonwealth now? Does it have any relevance?
I can't see the sense of it, because you come to conference to discuss exactly what they
The
already
conference
know.
is just, let's put the conference aside.
What is it
let's
about?
put the conference aside. They refer to Commonwealth citizens, nations, the Queen as the head of the Commonwealth. Do they have any kind of special benefits?
Well, what rights have we got? None.
Not that I can
whatsoever,
see.
sorry.
None that is evident. Can't see any that is evident. But let's go back to the Windrush situation at the moment, because what I want to point out is Joy Gardner died on the 28th of June, 25 years ago. It's coming up to her 25th anniversary of her death. She was deported, sort of bound, and what happened to her was sort of not short of, well, all I would put it down to is attempted murder. Well, so this Windrush and this deportation has been happening for some time, some considerable time, at least 25 years. It's not new.
So from where we are now, is anything going to get better, Ashburn?
Well, I hope so.
Now, considering that we have Saji as the Home Secretary,
well, that's right.
From the ethnic minority, he's been promising that's going to do something. Do we see a brighter future for immigrants in the UK, or do you think this is some kind of political strategy?
It's probably a political strand to put him in to say that something's going to happen or he's going to do something about it. We want it done now. We want to see action now. He's been there for quite some time now. He's been there for a few weeks. What has he done? We want to see people returning back to the Caribbean. We want to see people having their homes back. We want positive action, not hearsay. This is lips reading. We don't want to hear lips reading. We want the commissioner of the Caribbean islands to actually be a proactive part in what's going on. And they need to be accountable to us. We need to know what resonates between them and the Home Secretary. They should be at the forefront of this. And we as diasporas put under pressure on not only on Island Caribbean High Commissioners, also on the Home Secretary. We want him to start doing things to happen now. Not in a few weeks' time, not one or two trickle being brought back. We want the same plane that it took and sent 50 or 200 diasporas back. We want the same plane to go back to whatever country, whatever island they send them back to, and the same plane with 50 or 200 people back into Britain. That's what we want. And then we can say he's doing something constructive. Until then, he's doing nothing.
And immediate closure of the detention centres. You've
Absolutely.
heard the phrase, promises a comfort to a fool.
Absolutely.
So in this instance, we don't need promises. We don't want promises. That's happened time and time again. Now is the time for action. And what I am more surprised at, I think, with our people, is that already we haven't formed our own political party to ensure that we get the service
Absolutely.
from the British government that we deserve. And it's not happening. I really want to see a political party.
And I think
created.
It's time that we, and that include Africans and Island Caribbeans, should have a political party to stand up for what's right for us. We have got the knowledge, we have got the experience, we are qualified, and it's time that we, as an African and Island Caribbean community, have our own political party to stand up in Parliament, to stand up for this nonsense that's happening, for example, as the Windrush. And also, we are thinking they'll probably be targeting dual citizen. So we're going to stand up for that as well. And it's time that we, as the black community, or African Island Caribbeans, stand up as a political group to stand up in Parliament. And we need more of us. We need more black councillors. We need more black MPs. We need more black groups. We need more diasporas, black diasporas, to come out to the forefront. And it's time. I think the time is now. Because we're fed up with this.
But on the whole, how would you assess the attitude of black Africans in the United Kingdom?
The only thing I can repeat...
In terms of their attitude towards issues that affect
The
their
only thing I
life.
can say, and I will repeat, they're disillusioned. They have no one
is it
taking
about
their voice forward.
disillusionment? Is it about being disillusioned, or are they proactive enough?
I think, can I answer that?
The ethnic community, the black ethnic community, are they proactive enough?
The African diasporas, which have been to quite a few conferences, forums, and whatever they keep, the emphasis is set upon their community, issues that faces in Africa, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to sort of to discuss issues that faces your hometown in Africa, because Africa is a continent. But what they don't sort of emphasize on is the issues that we face in Britain, the issues that our children face in Britain. And if all the African diasporas come together and unite together as a force, together with the Caribbean diasporas, and we build as a force and pressure the British government, we will get things done. Pressure Parliament as a pressure group, we will get change. But what's happening in the diasporas, in the African diasporas, they all have their little groups, and they all have their little forums, and they all sort of, to me, one is pulling one another. We need to join together. It's time the African diasporas get together as a force, a pressure force, a lobbying force, together with Island Caribbeans, build this pressure together as one, as a unit. And we need to fight Parliament, and we need to pressure our MPs like everybody else do. Companies do it, cooperative companies do it, pressure, lobby, they all do it. It's time that we do it so that we can build a future foundation, a platform for our children and our children's children in the future.
They say that the disunity and the little group here and the little group there and the little group here, they might have a little bit of power, but when you get together as a united force, that's where the real strength is.
I'm still concerned about the attitude of the African and the Caribbean community in terms of their proactiveness when it comes to certain issues. Take for instance, economy. you hardly find a black person indeed and genuinely spending his pound in the shop of another African black person. They would rather go spend the shop of a nation.
Can I just, sorry, can I just expand?
I don't know if you've if you've seen that.
Can I just expand one more thing before you go into the next stage? I'm disappointed with the African community. I'm upset with my ancestors, my brothers and sisters from the African community and the African diasporas. And the reason why I'm upset, they have not supported the Windrush. They haven't done enough to support the Windrush. They should be at the forefront of the Windrush to fight as a united front. They seem to sit back and say it doesn't concern us, it's island Caribbean problem. But it's not our problem alone, it's their problem as well. And this is why I'm a bit disillusioned with the African community at this present time. My brothers and sisters in the African community should be at the forefront with us, fighting. Whenever there is sort of forums, there was one in Brixton. I didn't see any more African brothers and sisters. It was predominantly island Caribbean. So we can see the problem we have. Whereas they should be there supporting us, and we should support them. So we have this barrier that we're not uniting as one. And I'm very disappointed with my brothers and sisters, because I do support my brothers and sisters whenever it comes to any issue. And the African community needs to raise up to the plate and say we need to support.
And that's the question I put to you about the community being proactive, even on the economic front. What can change? What? We can keep blaming the government till eternity as we want. But if the state of mind does not change, if nothing changes with the people, the government will keep probably taking them for a ride.
Yeah, keep taking liberties, more and more liberties. But you're talking about not supporting the black
businesses,
black businesses,
supporting black
etc.
businesses.
Are there enough of them? Look at the major.
Even the few ones that are available.
Okay, look at the major industry that covers the diaspora: hair. You know, hair, weaves, that type of industry. Yeah. Who controls that industry? It's not the diaspora. It's the Asians. We haven't entered into that business. I think I only know of one black businessman that is involved heavily.
And who patronizes this hair thing more?
We do. But why don't we own our own black hair shops? Little, corner hairdressers here and there, but the wholesalers, we don't control it. It's a shame.
Is something wrong with the African Caribbean community?
Nothing's wrong, because we know how to run a business. We are educated. We can do that. We have people with MBAs galore. But why don't we control the hair industry?
That's just an example. There are other flourishing businesses that are actually targeting the African Caribbean community, but they are not owned by this community.
Well, if you look at the whole world, we don't own anything. Everything is controlled by someone else. But saying that, it's time. You're absolutely right. It's time we have our own bank. Why have we not got a Commonwealth Bank?
Isn't that going too far? If we cannot even run our own business, you're talking about having a bank.
Well, if we have the Commonwealth,
sky's the limit.
if we have the Commonwealth and we have the Commonwealth leaders that's coming here to have the conferences, why don't all these Commonwealth get together and have a bank in Britain? And by having a bank in Britain, we'll have the financial support that our people need to get to businesses.
It's time for me to
Can I just quickly?
I'm sorry, I need to go on another break now. You'll come to talk about that. Let's quickly go on this short break. We'll be back. All right, thank you. We're back. Let's quickly get this off. It's a pleasure. Thank you for joining us on the program. This is how far we can go on the program today. My name is Tunde Alabi. Ashmanoda, thank you for joining us on the show. It's been very interesting. I didn't even know that our time is fast spent. Norman Wright. Norman Wright.
You've been calling me Norman all throughout the program.
That's what I got.
I'm
Norman Wright.
Female. Come on, Tunde. I have Norman.
My apologies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We hope to have you back again.
Thank you for having
All right,
us.
this is how far we can go. It's been a pleasure to have you guys back. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Bavidi Luxury Hotel, the newest home away from home in the Nigerian hospitality industry. 10 minutes only from the local and international airports. It's the perfect spot for your relaxation whenever you're in Lagos. 24-hour non-stop electricity, cozy and colorful rooms, Wi-Fi internet connection, and flat screen cable television. Bavidi Luxury Hotel. Our exquisite restaurant and full bar are simply second to none in taste and style. Bavidi Luxury Hotel. We are located at the posh, serene neighborhood in the Keja Business District. Your satisfaction is our first concern, so we train our staff to be professional and personable. Bavidi Luxury Hotel, number 20 Moshuda Bella Crescent, Ikeja, Lagos. Telephone +234 1291 7929 +234 708 287 7512. Bavidi Luxury Hotel, the new home away from home.
Here is Rose on All Sides.
Hi, my name is Rose Peter Graham. My show is coming on soon on Ben Television Live.
It will penetrate the soul of nations to bring you sizzling stories.
So we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things. You think about it and beyond your imagination.
Trending news.
And talking about people, I love people.
In the lighter mood.
There's a lot of people, culture to learn, their tradition.
It will provoke controversies, but will stick to the facts.
You know, things just spring up and happens like that. Not what you're expecting. Of course, I love to do the unexpected.
When you see it from all sides, then it is Rose on All Sides.
Live every Thursday, 8 to 9 p.m. on this station.
Bavidi Luxury Hotel, the newest home away from home in the Nigerian hospitality industry. 10 minutes only from